Diligent Minds community, what's going on? We back with another episode. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're in great spirits, great health. As for me, everything is great. I'm above ground, all five senses working. We can always find something to complain about, but what are the things we can be grateful for? What are the things that we need to acknowledge that we sometimes take for granted? So I want you to think about those things as you transition through this week. We go into a new week, setting new goals for ourselves, changing our perspectives, making all these changes in our lives. I hope you're doing well. I hope you taking care of yourself. Just making sure you're taking care of your mental, your emotional, your physical. Make sure you're putting yourself first above all. Because without you taking care of you, can't take care of any of your responsibilities or anyone else that's relying on you. So it's the second week of being back from the break from the podcast. And I'm excited. I'm still excited about everything that's to come. I'm excited about recording these episodes every week again because I get to connect with y'all. I get to help you on your journeys. Don't forget to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts if this episode or this show has helped you in any type of way. We're not going to get into a long, drawn-out intro. We talking about today's episode, talking about you creating your own university. And when I say creating your own university, I'm talking about your education beyond schooling, the education that you can choose. I thought about this because I want to say the first thing I really got into as far as educating myself was podcasts. When I used to commute a lot, what I usually just put on a podcast. It was more entertainment podcasts in the beginning. And then I discovered personal development podcasts. Then I began to listen to audiobooks. And then it just carried on and on and on. And as I think about life right now as to where I stand and where I'm going in my mindset, the way I see things, a lot of it I can contribute to the information that I was able to intake. The information I chose to intake, I should say. Because this information helped me. It gave me different perspectives. It gave me different tools. It gave me different mindsets and just skills that I didn't know that would help me. And it educated me on a level that I wasn't expecting to be educated on, because now I can talk about things about real estate with confidence. I can go in there. I can understand certain terminologies. I can say the same with finances and investments. All these different things that I learned along my journey because I was able to create my own university. And I want y'all to think about that for yourself. We're going to break this down. What's some things that you want to learn in your life right now? What are some things, if you were in school, what are the classes that you'll take at this moment? What things would you select? So that's what I want you to think about as we go through this episode. So let's take it back to school. Let's think about when you go to school, we have classes that we're supposed to take. You need to take these prerequisites before you can get to this class, and you need to take this class in order for you to graduate, and so on and so on. They tell you what you need to take, but you can never select it. Most time it's things you don't even care about that you're not going to use beyond those schooling levels. And a lot of times you probably doze off in it and really don't know what the hell going on anyway. So a lot of times that stuff is irrelevant to you. You think about your high school years. You think about the time that you spent in high school. How much of that information is actually relevant for you today? How much of that information is actually helping you become a better person, create a better life for yourself, create long-term health, wealth, and all the things that we aspire to get as humans? How many of those classes actually taught you that? A lot of them don't even teach basic life skills. We have to learn by trial and error, especially if you come from an environment where these things aren't talked about, where these things aren't a priority. So you begin to learn the hard way. You begin to learn through your lessons. Some of us learn through friends' lessons sometimes, just conversations we have. But the beautiful thing is today, though, you can choose what you want to learn at this moment. It's not all about trial and error now. You can be intentional about all the information that you take in. You choose what's going to work for you, what you want to know, what you need to know, what you like to explore later down the line. So the beautiful thing is you can make a stack of these classes and say, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I want to talk about this, or I'm interested in this too. You can just go and easily go read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a video, and you could gather so much information in a short amount of time. And the beautiful thing is no student loans. There's no sitting in those long, boring classes. There's no gatekeepers. It's actually you being your own counselor, you being the own principal. You choosing what education works best for you. So let's take it back a little bit. When I was going through my phase of just transitioning from the old me to the me that was more aware, the me that was more confident, the me that was just wanted more and was actually ready to do the hard work, I began to just try out different things. The first thing I really got into, I was always into entrepreneurship, yes, but really being intentional about learning and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this, was real estate investing. And with me getting into that and being interested and wanting to know more, what I did was I stumbled upon this podcast called Bigger Pockets. And this was back in, I say maybe 2016, 2017. It was around that time. It was a while ago. It was probably even before that, maybe 2015. I stumbled upon Bigger Pockets. And I used to listen to these episodes all the time. Not just get inspiration, but also get a lot of information. And then I began to go to the meetups that they had locally. So I began to meet people who were really investing, people that were who were buying buildings, people that were building buildings, and all these different people that in all these different circles that it put me in just because of my interest of getting into that. And I made the choice to say, this is something I want to get into. And then I began to hear them talk about different things such as tax strategies. So now I began to think about wealth building and how people use the tax codes. So that was something else that I added on to myself. That was something else that I added on to my curriculum. And then it slowly transitioned into personal development. And as I was going through this process, that's when I began to find myself questioning not necessarily my existence, but my purpose. I feel like I'm just living day by day. I'm just on autopilot and I want to take control of my life. And then that's when I stumbled upon personal development. That's when I found these motivational speakers that were helping me, that were introducing me to mindsets, introducing me to different things that hadn't been presented to me before. And that's where I came in and I said, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to help other people because this feeling that I have right now is not for me. And I don't want other people to go through this. If I can learn all these things and teach other people, because there's not too many black people teaching this stuff right now, I want to be that person. And that changed my mindset. That put me on a path to learn about personal development and everything under that umbrella. Because personal development can be so broad. You talk about habits, you talk about goal setting, you talk about mindsets, you talk about taking action, all these different things that fall underneath the umbrella of personal development. I began to learn those things. So that was another thing that I began to learn. So I'm saying this to say, I slowly built my curriculum based on what was happening in my life at that time, based on all my interests and all the things that I talked about and all the things that I was beginning to learn. And as you build your curriculum in your life, once you think about where are you right now? And what are some things that you're interested in? What are some things that's going to help you reach your goals in the future, reach your ideal version of yourself? What's something else that you need to learn? Maybe you being stubborn about it. Maybe you using the excuse that I don't know. But that's no excuse anymore because the information is out there. Everything that you need to know, everything that you want to know, you can search it. And I made a snippet episode. It was probably in 2020 or somewhere around there. It's about 5 or 6 years ago when I first dropped the podcast. I talked about how you can build your ideal list of mentors. I want you to think about some people that you look up to, whether it's just at this stage or whether you look at just their life in general. Make a list of 5 people that you idolize, 5 people that you just love to learn from. If you could sit in this person's environment for 24 hours or for a week, who would those people be? So think about your 5 list of mentors. And next thing I want you to do, I want you to go pull up interviews, books, articles that they've written. Read their background, read their history. A lot of times you're going to find the sauce for their success. You're going to find what they did that separated them. And a lot of times it's going to be something that surprises you. It's going to be something as simple as I believed in myself. I was persistent. I didn't take no for an answer. And a lot of times these things just occur time and time again as we read into our mentors, as we read into these people that's achieved a great success that's notable. So make a list of 5 mentors and go learn something from each one of their stories. So there's no excuse for you to say, I don't know this person. No, you do know this person because they put out these interviews, they write these books, they write these articles, they talk about their life. So that's your key to go ahead and get all the information that you need as much as you can. But when people in class though, just like you are in school, what you do, you take the information, you go do the homework just to say that you did it. You don't actually apply it, you don't learn it. The difference is you need to actually apply this information. We have this thing called analysis paralysis, where we take in too much information, but we fail to take action on it. We fail to do anything because it's so much information that it gets overwhelming. So as you create your universe, as you create your curriculum, I want you to actually take action on these things that you're intaking. Don't just do it just to say that you did it. Nah, we need you to take action and apply it in your life and become better. Master that skill. Then move on to the next thing. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to hang your hands in too many pots, because you're not going to make your dreams a reality. You're not going to have the changes that you really want in your life because you're trying to do everything at once. So you're giving 60% over here, 30% over here, another 20 over here. How do you expect to get any results? So lock in on that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference in your life, and that's going to be an avalanche. And everything else is going to roll behind it. And you taking these different classes and just educating yourself, creating your own curriculum looks different. You can have audiobooks, you can have podcasts, you can take courses. There's so many things that you can do in order to create your curriculum. Then you also have your electives. Don't forget about that. It's not always just about feeding yourself and feeding your mind. It's also about feeding your soul, making sure that you have that moment to relax. And for me, that became me getting into my wine. That became me getting into my plants, me getting into cooking. So those were like my elective classes. Those were the fun classes where you're like, oh yeah, I can explore. I can do a few things. What are some things you want to get into? What are some electives that you love to take for you in your life? What are some things that you love to try out? It can be pottery. It can be painting. It can be art. It could be anything. Don't be afraid to explore, because you can always say, you know what? This isn't for me. Let me go into something else. So think about your core classes, the main things you take in that's going to feed you as a human. It's going to make you better, help you elevate yourself. Also think about your electives, the ones that are going to help you get more creative, the things that are going to help you fuel yourself, feed your soul, make you feel alive again. You can even add things like volunteering. You can add things like journaling, meditation. All of these things are lifestyle choices that you choose. You choose your own curriculum. So I want you to make your life your university. I want you to think about life as being the school. You creating your own curriculum. What things are you engaging in? What things are you using to fuel yourself? How are you doing this on a consistent basis? And how will this lead up to your end goal of where you like to be? And just like you take breaks with school, take breaks for yourself. Take time to analyze things and see what's working, what's not working. What things do you need to change? How can I approach this differently? So I want you to think about life as you go through it, as your college. You create your own curriculum. You choose your courses. Courses that actually work for you and your life and your goals. So as we transition out of this show, I want you to think about the things you feed in your mind. You wouldn't eat trash, so stop consuming it mentally. Be mindful of the things that you read, watch, and listen to, because all of that stuff changes your mentality. So that wraps it up for today's episode. I want you to go out there and create your own university. As we go through life, you can always make a change. You can always change the courses that you take, and you can always choose a different curriculum. And don't be afraid to do so, and don't feel guilty about it. So don't forget to check out all the links down below. Also, leave a rating and review if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts. I truly appreciate you, and leave a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Go out there, commit to yourself, create your own university. You hear the outro rolling in, you know what that means. Everybody is greatness within.